After viewing this video,
one Prince George's County Council member wants Maryland State Police to review the security guard's state license and his permit to carry a gun. Here's Councilmember Mel Franklin, who sits on the Council's Public Safety Committee.
All of the licensing authorities that are involved in this situation should also review it and determine whether this individual should continue to carry those licenses to do business as a security guard or to carry a firearm.
According to court records, the security guard in this case is Darrell Poston. Maryland State Police confirm he is a licensed private detective and security guard. Authorities would not reveal if Poston has a permit to wear and carry a gun for his job. Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy says private security officers should face the same kind of accountability that regular police officers face.
Most people don't get to walk around with a gun in a holster in the state of Maryland. So when you believe that you have that kind of authority, or you actually do have that kind of authority, then you have special duties and responsibilities, and there needs to be oversight and accountability.
Prince George's County Police say they are investigating the incident and will give any information they get to the state's attorney for possible charges. According to court records, Poston has sworn out a complaint accusing the woman, 24-year-old Uber Eats driver Stephanie Samuels, of attacking him first by throwing a drink at him. Records show Samuels has also accused Poston of assault. Black Lives Matter protesters told WUSA 9 that private security guards target black citizens more frequently and should be prohibited from carrying guns. Now, according to Maryland law, Poston would lose his wear and carry gun permit here in Maryland if he was ever convicted of a felony. In this case, he's so far accused of a misdemeanor. Scott Broom, WUSA 9.